r/TooAfraidToAsk. Plop 9000 says, do straight men enjoy compliments about their looks from gay men? Or does it make them uncomfortable? I'm a gay dude, and I do this to hetero dudes. Is it okay to do? Miss Volta says, what kind of compliments are we talking here? Are we talking about a general nice compliment or a barrage of never-ending compliments that are over the top? Because I've been complimented by gay men and appreciated it, and complimented by gay men and felt violated. Plop 9000 says, I definitely ain't aiming to make guys uncomfortable or anything. A lot of times it's just what's up handsome. Is that too much? Miss Volta says, that's not a compliment, that's a cheesy flirtatious line. Think of a straight guy saying what's up bro today I fricked you PL to every woman he sees. Darth Maulatet says, depends on the compliment. If a dude said hey man, I like your hair today it would make me feel good. On the other hand, something like you have nice eyes or you're very handsome would feel more like flirting, which would feel a little weird. The intimacy of the compliment is key. Prostopope says, 20 plus years ago, a gay guy at a party told me I have very nice broad shoulders. I still remember that compliment. I wasn't part of his dating pool, and he still took time to make me feel special. McTonan96 says, depends on the person, but I personally will take all and every compliment, and if they're uncomfortable taking a compliment then that's their problem. Snookupcakes3114 says, as a straight man it can give me the ick sometimes. If a gay guy is staring at me, it might compare to how women can feel getting stared at by guys with unwanted attention all the time. I can tell they want to interact, and it's like bro I'm not gay just trying to go grocery shopping. Also, doesn't mean as much as it would from a woman, because in general guys' standards are lower, and they are just horny af lol. Maple204 says, I, for one, enjoy compliments on my looks from anyone regardless of gender or orientation. Stickimkdiddle says, there's guys who are so straight that they don't wash their butts cause they are afraid of gay. So, probably not them. Everyday, normal, sane people. Hell yeah. Compliment away. Anam_card_fighter says, still gives me smile and slight confidence boost, just not as much as getting complimented by a woman. Yellow and Natretard says, I actually got complimented and hit on just last week by a gay dude at a cocktail bar. They said I looked really cool and sexy which I appreciated. I'm sure they wanted me to hang out with them, but I respectfully declined. They felt bad about it, but I told them they gotta shoot their shot, and there's nothing wrong with that. We hugged. I left. Unfortunately there are totally some straight guys who'd be revolted by the experience I had. TPK08210 says, some appreciate the compliment, others not so much. Just depends on the person. Chip Chippersonfan says, I'm uncomfortable getting compliments from gay men, straight women, straight men. I guess I could take a compliment from a lesbian. 5 Anesthesia says, I think it's flattering, and providing it wasn't made in a creepy fashion I will usually thank them for the compliment, and say sorry my gait doesn't swing that way. As a straight man I've had far more compliments from gay men than I have from women. Women often raise each other up with compliments, but it's rare for a man to receive one, so if a gay dude gives me a compliment it's going to brighten my day up, rather than offend me. Pack_Eddie says, depends on how it's delivered. Most of the time a compliment is appreciated. Redelian83 says, compliments from a gay man can make homophobes feel very uncomfortable. Even angry. The others may feel a bit out of their comfort zone, but can certainly appreciate it. So it really depends. Complimenting people is a great habit for everyday life, but if you don't know someone, the response is very unpredictable. r/TooAfraidToAsk. Cromulent Fishbulb says, how did people obtain illicit videos, X, bestiality, in the pre-internet days? I know this title is weird, but I swear I'm asking for a normal reason. My dad was telling me a story about the local punk scene he ran in when he was my age. This would have been back in the mid-late 80s. He said this guy he knew who was in a popular local band, who is now a local far-right politician lol, was at a party with him, when suddenly, he put in a tape of a guy, frick, I'm a goat. My dad said he got up and left the party and never talked to the guy again. I asked him how somebody would have gotten a hold of something like that back then, and he said he had no idea. And so, how would somebody have gotten a hold of something like that in the 1980s? I was born in the late 90s, so most pre-internet stuff is a mystery to me. Thanks in advance for any insight. Major but frick, says, shady video stores. Sparky81 says, someone films it on their camcorder. Copies are made and passed around via word of mouth. DM Hermit says, typically porn was acquired one of 4 ways before the internet. Shady porn stores, a friend of a friend, the woods, made it yourself. Don't be jerk says, mail order and catalogs was another way, both for end consumers and shady sex shops. They used to confiscate obscene materials getting imported from abroad semi-regular. There's some well-known court cases around it, but they certainly weren't getting all of it. You could buy practically anything by the mail going back many decades, including pornography. I'd want a Jetband says, who is this politician you speak of? Macaron Fluffy says, trading? Dracogen says, porn in general was passed around from friend to friend, be it mags or videos, and of course there were random finds in the bushes in the park. Silverada32 says, same way we got porn videos and faces of death videos, your friends would have a video copy they let you borrow. Then with 2 VCRs you would make a copy for yourself and pass it around. I don't know about the bestiality stuff, but my friends only had the ones I mentioned. Dung Brick says, they just got passed around. r/TooAfraidToAsk. RobPilot_1994 says, what's the worst sex you've ever had, and why was it so bad? Pinkamethyst_ says, we were very drunk. We tried to put his dry penis in my butt. First ever anal experience. Very awful. Invisible_man321 says, I once had a girl suck my dick, like it was a straw, and she was going to suck the cum out of me. While that move can be useful during a blowjob, it requires other action as well. That was her entire technique, and I was sitting there wondering what it was I was supposed to do. Thankfully she didn't try to finish, and then we had sex which was adequate. Redacted name 87 says, UHH. It was one of the first times that I did anal with another guy and I literally shit on him. Like, a lot. I was young and didn't have any idea of how any of that worked. Prepifinancinad says, I finally got a chance in my mid-20s to sleep with a high school friend I had been wildly attracted to ever since we were both 15. There was no participation on her part whatsoever. Everything I did was just met with this weird pouty reaction and her going meanie. I can't really work with your reactions when everything gets the same one. She also did the starfish pose and again just didn't participate in any way. Don't get me wrong, I wish her well and hold no ill will. I haven't heard from her in almost 10 years. But that was me realizing that maybe completing the fantasies you had as a horny high school freshman don't actually live up to reality. Terminator Auschwitz says, I haven't really had particularly bad sex. One girl flipped out mid-six when I had my hand around her on her lady bite and her tits were kinda in front of the TV. I was looking at her nice tits when she shouted, "Are you watching TV? If you're not interested we can stop." Kind of a mood killer. My roommate once had a girl constantly ripping what he called hot parts that stung my eyes when they were having sex. That seems pretty terrible. Vance Cecil says, "This one time I went to hook up with this guy. We were 110% compatible until it came to sex. Now I'm not hating, but his penis was legit the size of a chapstick you'd buy at the store. We couldn't even do doggy. I have to fake a headache to get out of there. I felt so bad, but I just couldn't fake it." Dangerous_mammoth 572 says, "Probably the last time I had sex with my ex it was breakup sex and it should have been hot and amazing end to our relationship, not the sad lazy sex it was. We just stopped mid-sex because both of us just were in our heads not enjoying it." Sparks Gerald 1223 says, "He asked if it was in, then fricked like a jackrabbit on speed to make sure he got off before I could complain." Lemon Lime 45 says, "My dog was having neurological issues and the vet suspected a spinal disc injury. He was supposed to be on 24/7 crate rest as conservative treatment, no jumping, playing allowed. Only supposed to be allowed out of the crate to go to the bathroom. Well, he freaked out in the crate. So I put some upholstery foam down on the floor in the living room and tethered him to me with his leash so that I could keep him still while we slept on the floor together. So after a few days of me sleeping on the floor of the living room with our very sick dog, my husband came out of our bedroom one night and made it clear to me how pissed off he was that his sexual needs weren't being met because I was so worried about our dog. I had sex with him that night and afterwards went back to the floor with my dog and cried. I think it was truly the beginning of the end of our marriage. Every now and then I think he wasn't such a bad guy then. I remember that time. My dog ended up having a brain tumor and died shortly after. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.